about to address some things as the supervisor. There will be no comments, there won't be anything, it'll just be me addressing you guys and telling you what's going on.
Weird. So weird. It really is like the whole country's hypnotized. And I just think this is a perfect storm of things that are happening.
All right, buckle up, folks, because we're about to dive headfirst into some serious drama straight out of Dolton, Illinois. Mayor Tiffany Henyard has landed herself smack in the middle of a political firestorm, and trust me, it's only getting messier by the day. If you thought local politics couldn't be as dramatic as a reality TV show, think again. This saga has more twists, turns, and jaw-dropping moments than anyone could have imagined. And just when you thought it couldn't get any wilder, Joe Rogan himself has weighed in, taking what started as a small-town scandal and turning it into a full-blown national conversation. So let's rewind, start from the top, and break down exactly what's going on here. Because this is one story you don't want to miss.
Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is suing some village trustees over Monday's meeting.
For those who don't know, Tiffany Henyard made history in 2021 by becoming the first female mayor of Dolton. A trailblazer, right? But instead of leading the town toward progress, she's now facing explosive accusations that would make anyone question her leadership. And this isn't just the usual political mudslinging. Henyard is under fire for some seriously alarming allegations, intimidation tactics, threats against residents, and even hiring one of the most controversial attorneys in the country to back her up. At this point, you'd think we were talking about a Hollywood villain, not a small-town mayor. But the real controversy started heating up when reports surfaced that Henyard wasn't exactly playing nice with Dolton's residents. It's one thing for a mayor to clash with critics, but it's a whole different story when a public official is allegedly threatening the very people she's supposed to serve. Yep, you heard that right. Multiple people claim that Henyard has outright warned residents who spoke out against her that there would be consequences. Let's just pause for a second. This is a public official, someone elected to represent the community. And instead of engaging with her constituents, she's allegedly trying to silence them through fear and intimidation. Talk about a power trip, right?
2 meetings in different locations. It was a little confusing for some residents, but the meeting here at Village Hall canceled after a few minutes.
But these threats didn't stop at words. Apparently, residents have been feeling the pressure in other ways, too. Some say they've been getting extra attention from local authorities, and not in a good way. Think about it. 1 minute, you're speaking out about how the town is being run, and the next, you're suddenly facing all kinds of scrutiny. Coincidence? Hard to say. But one thing's for sure. It's raising a lot of red flags. And that's exactly why people are furious. They want answers. They want to know if their own mayor is crossing a line that no public servant should ever cross.
Investigator, I've got some witnesses from here. Inside I have from the United States District Court.
So, with all this tension bubbling under the surface, who steps in to shine a national spotlight on the situation? None other than Joe Rogan. Yes, that Joe Rogan. Host of one of the biggest podcasts in the world, with millions of listeners. And when he picks up a topic, you better believe it gets attention. In this case, Rogan didn't hold back. He slammed Henyard, calling her out for what he described as a blatant abuse of power, accusing her of threatening her own residents. It's not every day that a small-town mayor ends up on the radar of a major media personality. But when someone like Rogan speaks, people listen. And just like that, the Henyard saga reached a whole new level.
The people be what's running the thing. We're letting the thing be run by the people that are in power that are
All right, buckle up. Because what's happening in Dolton, Illinois, right now isn't just local politics, it's a full-blown political meltdown. Mayor Tiffany Henyard has found herself at the center of a scandal that, keeps getting messier by the day. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, Joe Rogan stepped in, putting her under national scrutiny. Back in 2021, Tiffany Henyard made history as Dolton's first female mayor. At first, she was seen as a trailblazer, someone who could lead the town toward progress. But fast forward to today, and her leadership is being questioned in ways no one could have imagined. Instead of being celebrated, she's now facing accusations of intimidation, threats against residents, and financial corruption. What started as political disagreements has now turned into allegations that could end her career and possibly land her in serious legal trouble. For months, Dolton residents have been voicing their concerns about Henyard's leadership, but instead of responding with transparency, she's accused of silencing critics through intimidation. Multiple reports claim that residents who spoke out against her faced consequences. People say they've been threatened, that local authorities have suddenly taken an unusual interest in them, and that even business owners who challenge her have had their businesses shut down. Think about that for a second. A public official is supposed to serve the people, but instead of engaging with her constituents, she's accused of bullying them into silence. If true, this is not just bad leadership, it's a blatant abuse of power. As this controversy grew, it was only a matter of time before it caught national attention. And who better to put it under the spotlight than Joe Rogan? Rogan, host of one of the world's biggest podcasts, didn't hold back when discussing Henyard. He called her out for allegedly threatening her own residents and misusing her power. And here's the thing. When Rogan talks, millions listen. His comments turned what was once a local scandal into a national conversation. And suddenly, this wasn't just about Tiffany Henyard anymore. This was about the bigger picture. How elected officials can abuse power, and how a lack of accountability allows it to happen. Henyard, who may have been hoping this controversy would eventually blow over, now had to face the reality that her actions were under national scrutiny. As the pressure mounted, Henyard made a bold and highly questionable legal move. She brought in Brendan Brindley, a lawyer with a controversial track record. If you don't know who Brindley is, let's put it this way. He's been involved in some of the most notorious legal cases in recent history. He's represented some highly questionable figures, including R. Kelly's former manager. He's been accused of coaching witnesses, bending the rules, and using aggressive legal tactics that blur the line of ethical conduct. So, why would Henyard hire him? What is she so desperate to protect herself from? And here's where it gets even crazier. Her previous legal team quit. Yes, you heard that right. Her own lawyers walked away, reportedly because they were feeling the financial strain. Imagine being so deep in controversy that even your own attorneys don't want to stick around. That says a lot. But the legal drama isn't even the worst of it. Henyard is also under investigation for financial mismanagement. Reports claim she's been using taxpayer money for personal expenses, including lavish trips to Las Vegas, a brand-new $150,000 Chevy Tahoe, and expensive parties, all on the public dime. These aren't just rumors. There are receipts, and people are furious. And now, the FBI is reportedly involved. Subpoenas are flying, and investigators are digging into Henyard's finances, political committee, and even her close associates. At this point, you'd think Henyard would be in full-on damage control mode. Maybe she'd try to clear her name or offer some kind of explanation. But instead, she's doubling down. Rather than addressing the allegations, Henyard is insisting that she's the victim of a smear campaign. She's blaming her critics, calling this all an orchestrated attack to take her down. But the problem is, the evidence keeps piling up. With each new revelation, her credibility is taking a bigger hit. And Dolton residents? they're done. The anger in the community is reaching a boiling point. As pressure continues to build, there's one big question on everyone's mind. How much longer can Henyard hold on? Some are calling for her immediate resignation. Others believe she should face criminal charges. Investigators are closing in, and with the FBI now in the EE mix, this is no longer just a political fight. It could turn into a legal battle with real consequences. So, what do you think? Is Henyard fighting a losing battle? Or does she still have a chance to turn this around? Should public officials like her be held to a higher standard? Or is this just how politics works? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned, because this story is far from over.